Hello, I'm Captain Bill Lloyd. Welcome back to another edition of Frontline. In this program, we will review the answers to the fire worksheets which were sent out with our last program. We will hear from Captain Larry Maples with an on-the-scene description of a working house fire in the woods of Windermere that Company 19 and 18 responded to. And Captain R.B. Alley will continue his series entitled, Did You Ever Wonder? And we will meet some of our recruits going through Tidewater Regional Fire Academy. But first, Chief Quist from Fire Admin has some good information on new fire stations and design changes and delays with the new tiller apparatus for Company 11.
I'm Captain R.B. Alley, investigative reporter for Frontline. Instructor Anderson and myself are out on the road today. We're out at the Fire Administration Building down at the courthouse. We're going to go in and try to see Chief Quist. He doesn't know that we're coming, but we're going to try to get you some valuable information on new fire stations and new apparatus that our department's planning on purchasing. Let's head on up the steps and see if he's here. There's a lot of rumors going around the field about different new fire stations being purchased, a lot of information coming out in the paper. A lot of information that we need to try to get to the bottom of. Let's see if Chief Quist is here. Excuse me, is Chief Quist here?
Do you have an appointment to see him?
No, ma'am, I don't, but I'm from Frontline, and we need to get some valuable information from him about new fire stations and new equipment.
Okay, well, he's very busy today. If you don't have an appointment, I'm not sure if you can get him to see him today.
Well, we've got to see him, ma'am. This is from Frontline. It's very important to get this information out. Is this his office right here?
Well, I guess it is, but if you don't have an appointment, I don't think you can go in there right now.
Well, we need to get in and see him. Good morning, Chief Quist. How you doing? I'm Captain R.B. Alley from Frontline. Can we have a few minutes of your time to talk about new apparatus and new fire stations?
I guess so. Come on in. Sit down.
Thank you. Chief, we appreciate your time this morning. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the new fire stations we're getting ready to build in the future and some of our new apparatus we're getting ready to purchase and spec out?
Sure. Let me first state one thing. 1989 was really a bad year for the fire department as far as fire apparatus is concerned, and also construction of fire stations. It seemed as though everything we did in '89 just didn't work out at all. We had problems with land for fire stations where we had the money in the CIP to build them, and we talking about fire apparatus. The fire apparatus we were ordering, we were going to go out on a proposal, and then at the last minute it was changed by purchasing that they wouldn't accept the proposal, so we had to go back with our fire apparatus committee and rewrite the specs for a ladder, a platform, 2 telesquirts, and a air handling unit. And of course, a lot of work was done by the fire apparatus committee, and without their help, I couldn't be where I am today. Right today, I'm ready to put all those specs on the street, and I was shooting for the 15th of February. But anyway, by the end of February, I'm going to have them out on the street for bid. I have some things here that I'd like to show you, locations of fire stations, and probably the time that we expect completion to be on them. If you'd like, I'll be glad to show them to you.
Sure, Chief. Thank you. We'd love to see that information.
There's been a lot of questions about the new ladder for Company 11. This ladder is a tractor drawing ladder, and we put an order in November of 1988 for this particular piece. When we went to the pre-engineering conference, we found that the ladder itself was a light-duty ladder, not a heavy-duty ladder. So we got back with the manufacturer and we told them, if we don't get a heavy-duty ladder, then we're going to cancel the order. So the factory came back and they said, okay, for the same price, we'll give you a heavy-duty ladder. What has actually happened with the delay, we should have had this truck by the November the 18th, '89. We went back through negotiations with them because of the late and delay. So as of February 1, 1990, there's a $100 a day penalty until this ladder is delivered. So if it's 30 days, that's $3,000. What's happened is the ladder itself, being a heavy-duty ladder, putting it on the regular trailer that they normally build, we found that the trailer was overweight. So they had to come back and redesign the trailer itself so it would carry the heavy-duty ladder. On more than one occasion, these are your outriggers, and they've been changed 2 or 3 times to make it for the stability of the unit. Also, the tiller rear axle has been moved back. It was about at a point here. It's been moved back to carry the weights. So the big delay was over the engineering of a heavier trailer to carry that ladder. We're in hopes that we'll have this piece by the 15th of May, 1990. Now we'll talk about fire station locations and fire station construction, and when we're looking at completion dates. What actually has happened here, this is the Burton Station area, and we were negotiating with the City of Norfolk and the Norfolk Airport at the end of Burton Station Road for a fire station to be located in this particular area. Through negotiations with Lake Wright Motor Lodge and the City of Norfolk, they leased the property to Lake Wright, and in 1991 this property, the lease is going to be up. And Norfolk has decided that there's a good possibility that they will not use this as a golf course anymore, and they may come in here and use this as an industrial site. If that being the case, there was a question about the boundary lines for this station. We had already negotiated for about 2 years with Norfolk to get this piece of land. It was going to be leased to us $1 a year for 30 years with the option to renew the lease. So we thought it was really a good deal. What's happened is we've had a conflict with Norfolk because of the boundaries, so we've backed up and we've gone out and we've started looking at property in another location. This particular location is located at Diamond Springs and Westland Drive, and there was a piece of property back behind this commercial property that we were very much interested in, which was about 1.5 acres. We're looking at a station in this area. Square footage would be about the same as Stumpy Lake, about 7,800 square feet. Well, when the property owner found that we were interested in this property, the property went up to about $430,000 for 1.5 acres, where we were quoted one time at $140,000. So, you know what we told that man. Anyway, right now we're looking at a piece of property, and we have an option on this at the corner of Baker Road and Westland Drive, and it's nearly across from that church. We have an option on that, and we expect probably to negotiate with those people if we can find the funds, which is going to be about $250,000 for that property. We're in hopes that we can do something within the next month or two. If that being the case, we should have this station under construction and ready to move in. Probably we're looking at around June of '91. The next one would be Hunt Club Forest, which is, a lot of people call it General Booth Red Mill. But actually this property is located on the backside of Hunt Club Forest. All the funds are appropriated for a fire station there. And in this project, this is going to be General Booth, and this is the new Farrell Parkway. Right now, there's a greenhouse over in this area, and this highway is going to be constructed by the end of '94. But if we build this fire station, they are talking about putting a 600-foot 2-lane road down to where the fire station would be so we can come out this way. Eventually, we would be on a 6-lane highway. I'm not too happy about that, but we don't really have much choice. In this project, you'll have an elementary school, a community center, a branch library, and a fire station. This station will house a lot of the rescue people from Company 5, as well as new employees or new fire people will be here. Chief Carter's talked to me, and through design and everything, this station will probably be as large as the New London Bridge Station, which is 13,000 square feet, or larger. It could go up to maybe 15,000, depending on the needs that rescue needs to get in here, as well as fire. Our projections on this will probably be, if everything goes well, on drawing the plans up, which we haven't done yet, working with the architect, working through the properties, and time of construction, we're looking at something around May of '91. Okay, this next project would probably be the relocation of Company 1, Ocean Park. This is something we've been working on for a while, and it probably will be a surprise to all of you, actually, what we're thinking here. But this location will be it will be on Great Neck Road, and there's a piece of property right at the water line between the two bridges. This is the old bridge that you used to come over on Great Neck Road at Long Creek, and this is the new bridge. There's a piece of property right between these two bridges. Also, this property is on the water. So an aerial photograph shows that property right here. What I've done is I've gone back and I've tried to get the square footage of fire stations, the location of this on that particular property. And I've worked 2 or 3 different designs on fire stations trying to get it on there. Now the black portion here is the road network, and this would be the building. Now this particular station has a water dock down here, and what we're planning on is to build a dock that's already bulkheaded and to have a fireboat there. Just talking with the fire chief and Chief Carter, what we would probably house here would be fire apparatus and also a team that would be well qualified to use this boat and go out into the Lynn Haven River. This would give us our fire protection along the waterways of the Lynn Haven River. So this is in the making, but the exact time for construction and all that, I don't know, because the funds are not available yet in the capital improvement program. This is a project that was just on television last night. What's happened here, this is the Little Neck area. This dot here represents the location of a fire station that was supposed to be put on the Brill Field property. The architects have designed the station, and we were ready to go for bid when we got some people in the area that were quite upset, and they went to the Civic Leagues, and the Civic Leagues have gotten with our council and all the other people, and they don't want this station located here. So in the meantime, directed by the fire chief and the city manager, we went out and we looked for other sites that would suit us for response times and so forth. Our number one choice that we turned into the city manager was a piece of property located at Newcastle and Little Neck Road, right here. The second site would have been down near the church. I think it's St. Pius's Church on North Lynn Haven and Little Neck. And then down farther on Shakespeare Drive, there was another piece of property, but that would have been our third choice, but it wasn't too suitable because of the road network and so forth. This morning, the fire chief directed me to go back with real estate and go back and look at a piece of property about right here. And I plan to do that this afternoon and make a report to him. That would be at the intersection of Kings Grant and North Lynn Haven Road. If all went well, and we could get this property passed and the funds and so forth and buy the property, the plans are already drawn, we could have this station constructed and ready to go by, we're looking at it, April 91. So what we were looking at fire stations is April, May, and June of 91. There's the possibility we could have 3 stations ready. And, you know, I'm not out in the field too much, particularly visiting the stations. And as you see here, this room, we're really working on fire apparatus as well as new construction, fire stations, relocation of fire stations. And we're still looking at Company 11. We've been talking to city real estate and the capital improvement people about relocation and a new station for Company 11. That's in the works. Their projections were about 7 years, but with the condition of the station and so forth, we'll probably be looking at maybe 2 years. We hope that we'll be under construction for a station there. So what's happened, to sum all this up, last year we had the funds for 5 fire stations. We have built Stumpy Lake, that was number 1. Number 2 is London Bridge is under construction. We're looking at the Little Neck Station. We're looking at the Hunt Club Forest Station and the Diamond Springs. So, as I said, 89's been a bad year, and I hope that 90 and 91 is going to be a better year for the fire service. And my door is open to you anytime that you want to come in here, and if you want the information and where we are on this. And I feel that this is probably one way to really get the information out to you people. and I appreciate you coming by today. But one question I have in mind for both of you is, I don't know how you got in this door, but we'll talk about that later, okay?
Reporting to you for Frontline. I'm in Chief Quist's hot seat at Fire Administration. I'm your roving reporter, Captain R.B. Alley. Bob, please close the door on your way out. Chief Quist needs to talk to me.
Company 19 and 18 responded to a house fire in the woods of Windermere off Salem Road last December. Captain Larry Maples was in command of Wagon 19 and describes the attack made on this fire.
As soon as we responded from the station and made a left turn on the road, we could see that we had a major fire because we had a huge volume of smoke. So upon arrival, we could see that fire control was our main problem because we had such a volume of fire in the house, and the house next door was starting right on. I noticed the best place that we could hit the fire was from the front because it appeared that the fire was not in the house at this point through the windows. And the occupant told me when we pulled up that everybody was out of the house, so I knew that we had all clear on the primary inside. First thing I did was, when Eugene got water on the line, was hit the exposure. Exposure at this point is the most important thing. The fire was well in control of the attic at this point. I could see that from the right-hand side. And the best place to hit it was from the right-hand side with a straight through because the fire was in the attic and there was 3 cars involved, the amount of gasoline that was in there. At this point, I just can't imagine trying to go past that fire and leave that volume of fire burning to go into a house when we couldn't even get to the fire and start with from the inside. Had we gone inside, we probably would have burned the whole house down and trapped up. As you can see that straight thing walking the dog on that fire. It doesn't take long to get under control. See, right there, I can shoot right through the eave, right on into the attic and control it. That's what I was interested in doing, knocking the attic fire. You can see it controls the fire pretty good. All right, I've heard that just around the grapevine that several people were criticizing the way we attacked this fire. And, you know, that's fine, that's well and good, but when you pull up on something of that magnitude, you've got to go with your past experience and what you need to do the most. And a lot of people have the idea that fire streams push fire and that an interior attack is all-inclusive, the only thing we're supposed to be doing. The bottom line is, it's true a fog pattern has a lot of entrained air, and it does intensify a well-burning fire at times, especially in closed quarters where you're pushing a lot of air in front of this fog stream. But I've learned through experience and through listening to other fire companies throughout the nation where I've gone around and heard people talk that straight streams are really a better appliance for that type of fire, simply because you don't get the steam conversion. You're really cooling the fire, and the bottom line is you maintain a thermal balance, which benefits both us as firefighters and the trapped occupants, if there are any. You know, if you can get in there and knock that fire down with a straight stream and just cool the products and leave a thermal balance up top and not steam yourself and the people, you give them a fresh atmosphere and keep the heat off of them. And I just, for the life of me, I have difficulty with people, you know, criticizing a fire like that. I just don't see how anybody could have gone by that volume of fire and sent the first due crew inside. The next order we gave when the second due company arrived was for them to go on inside and check and make sure there was no fire extension, in which they were only about 1.5 minutes behind us. So, like I say, you know, that was my primary concern, was fire control, because of the amount of gas we had involved in those vehicles, and one of the tanks had ruptured. And you know, I just couldn't see us jumping in there, because we would have definitely been in trouble had we gotten that fire. Okay, I assigned Headley's second due crew the job of checking the interior as soon as they got it. He came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder, and I realized they were there. I said, look, we got it under control. Take your men inside and see if there's any fire extension. I said, I don't think there's any. I've already looked in the windows. You can see it is under the fire extension. And we got such a good knockdown on the fire that I really figured it couldn't be too far advanced. Sure, the cars were a problem, but not really to the structure, because the problem with the fire and the structure was in the attic. It was going to burn the roof off. But once I swept the attic and got control of that, the garage, of course, was already burned out. And I think we had gas from some point that was on fire. And I instructed Eugene to set up the phone in case we needed it, which we did. And as it turns out, either the gas had burned itself out or whatever, but we were able to control the fire eventually. Once we penetrated and went on in the garage, we could see the fire was underneath the car. So I guess the cars did add to the volume of smoke and the amount of heat that was in that house, but it's amazing the amount of fire, the sheetrock and stuff like that to keep on. Like I say, I just can't reiterate enough that the main bulk of the fire and the fire problem at that point was the fire in the attic. It was out of control, and that's what we had to do. Once we get that, the rest of it maintained easily. Yeah, I'd like to reemphasize one thing that's become apparent to me. The straight streams do not push fire. A lot of people have that idea. They simply extinguish fire, period. They kill it right in its tracks. And that's, if I didn't make any other point in this whole video, and I don't like doing this type of thing because it's not my bag, but that's the most important thing I can think of that we could do as fire companies out here. And it helps us and everybody else to make a more use of a straight stream.
Now, Captain R.B. Alley continues his series entitled, Did You Ever Wonder?
You ever wonder what it'd be like to be strapped into a KED? I've often wondered that myself. Many of the calls we respond on are EMS-related calls, as you know. Most of the time, the trauma has already occurred to the patients. But one of the things we want to make sure is once we get there that we don't cause additional trauma to our patients. I'm with Debbie Hollenbeck of the EMS Training Center here, and she's going over the EMT portion of the training class, the TRFA 36. Debbie, can you tell us a little bit about what they're learning with the KED, how it's utilized, and some of the points you want to emphasize about KED use?
Well, today what we're going over is how to get somebody out of a car. Up until this point, they've learned how to take the KED, use the KED taking a person out of a chair, sitting up in the classroom. Now they're learning how to take them out of a vehicle, one of the rescue vehicles or one of the fire department personnel's vehicles who are here.
Okay, good. What are some of the things that you emphasize in the class that they make sure they look out for when they're taking a person out on a KED?
They've got to make sure that they've got the person completely stabilized prior to putting the KED on, stabilize the neck, and then once the KED is on, making sure that it's correctly placed before they pull the person out of the car. If the KED is on correctly, the person should be completely stabilized from the head all the way down to their legs.
Okay, a lot of times we know that during these calls, a lot of these patients are really distraught. They have a lot of problems dealing with the patient care that we're trying to provide to them. Do you emphasize anything about just talking to the patient or anything?
We emphasize a lot of the communications, telling the patient what's happening so that they don't think that they're just getting strapped into this piece of equipment that they don't understand. But some of it isn't real practical for us to do in a classroom setting. A lot of that they've got to learn in the field when they get out there and see a distraught patient. Okay, thank you. Appreciate your time today, and keep up the good work. As you can see, they're doing a real good job. I'm almost fastened to the backboard now, to the KED that just finished me up. They got me nice and secure. They've been real nice, too. As you can see, I'm securely strapped to the KED and to the backboard. TRFA 36 was a success. Did an excellent job. Thanks to Debbie Hollenbeck, you've learned the skills it takes to be good EMTs in our fire department. Reporting to you from Frontline. On the backboard, I'm Captain R.B. Alley.
Volunteer, Virginia Beach, London Bridge. I'm Jim McLean, Hampton Fire Department.
William Lee, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
James N. Ramsey, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
Chris S. Thomas, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
John F. Face III, Virginia Beach.
Michael J. Jarrett, volunteer, Company 3, Virginia Beach.
Robert L. Glover, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
Deborah L. Helfant, Virginia Beach Volunteer Fire Department, Company 5.
John K. Cooper, Virginia Beach Fire Department. Paul R. Criswell, Volunteer, Virginia Beach Fire Department, Company 8.
Patricia L. Rochoff, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
Stanford E. Mosley Jr., Volunteer, Company 5.
William K. Driver, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
Danny A. Stacy, Hampton Fire Department, Wood Company.
Sean H. Land, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
Derek W. Clay, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
Mike Streetman, Virginia Beach Fire Department, Volunteer, Company 8.
Beth Craddock Cruz, Virginia Beach Fire Department.
Hrafn Jónsson, slökkvilið Keflavíkurflugvelli. Hrafn Jónsson, Fire Department on the base in Keflavík.
Let's review the answers on our fire worksheet. Question number 1. Dielectric heating is what form of heat energy? The answer, C, electrical. Number 2, backdraft explosion can be minimized by which of the following? The answer, C, ventilating at the highest levels. Number 3, evaporation is the process in which vapors are produced through the application of heat to which of the following? Our answer, B, liquids. Number 4, 2 forms of heat energy are nuclear and mechanical. What are the other 2? Our answer, D, electrical and chemical. Number 5, a liquid with which of the following flash points would pose the most severe hazard in a potential fire? Our answer, D, flash point of 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 6, the AFFF extinguisher has a maximum discharge time of about, our answer, B, 1 minute. Let's go to page 2. Number 7, how much heat change is associated with a British thermal unit? Our answer, B, 1 degree Fahrenheit. Number 8, which of the following extinguishers could cause frostbite? Our answer, D, carbon dioxide extinguisher. Question number 9. We've gotten quite a few calls on that one. Let's take a look at it. If evidence of an intentional fire is uncovered during salvage and overhaul, the correct action and answer is B. Both salvage and overhaul should stop. Number 10. The centigrade temperature scale is most closely associated with which of the following? Correct answer is B, the calorie. 11. Under normal conditions, a pressurized water extinguisher can reach between C, 30 to 40 feet. Number 12. Where and in what direction should the indicating needle on a pressure gauge of a CO2 extinguisher point? Hope you didn't have a lot of difficulty with that. Correct answer is D. There's no pressure gauge on a CO2 extinguisher. Number 13. If the outside temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, the Fahrenheit equivalent would be B, a larger number of degrees. Number 14. How much of a temperature change is associated with the term calorie? Correct answer is B, 1 degree centigrade. Number 15. Which of the following is one of the 3 main ways of distributing water? Our correct answer is C, gravity flow systems. Number 16. To what Fahrenheit temperature is 100 degrees Celsius equal? Our correct answer is C, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 17. Which is representative of a greater quantity of heat? Our correct answer is A, the British thermal unit. 18. A red square label indicates what type of extinguisher? Our correct answer is B, a Class B extinguisher. Number 19. The Celsius temperature scale is most closely associated with which of the following? Our answer is A, the calorie. And the one you've been waiting for, number 20. A Class B fire would involve which of the following? C, flammable liquids. That concludes our review of the fire worksheet for this month. In the future, to make things easier for all of us, we will be including our reference source with each question. If you have any questions regarding the worksheet, please don't hesitate to give me a call. That's Frontline for this month. If you or your shift would like to contribute an idea which could be shown on Frontline, please give me a call at the Fire Training Center. Please help us out and pass this videotape on to the next shift as soon as possible. Until next month, I'm Captain Bill Lloyd. Thanks for joining me.